Mark Carney's July visit to the Calgary Stampede has been portrayed in media reports largely as a colorful but somewhat clumsy debut. However, beneath the lighthearted coverage of pancake flipping mishaps and cowboy hat photo ops, there are hints of deeper, more complex dynamics at play. Carney's attendance at the Calgary Stampede was framed as a continuation of a long-standing tradition for Canadian Prime Ministers, regardless of party affiliation. The Stampede is not just a rodeo, but a major political and economic hub where leaders engage with constituents, industry leaders, and local politicians. Carney, a former banker known for his polished, suit-wearing demeanor, leaned into the event's Western flair, donning a cowboy hat, touring the grounds, sampling mini donuts, and attempting to flip pancakes at a breakfast hosted by the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America. His pancake flipping skills drew attention for all the wrong reasons, with reports noting 2 flapjacks landing with a splat, which sparked some laughs and some mild jeering. He also participated in key Stampede events, such as the Great Entry Ceremony and the Liberal Party fundraiser, while engaging with Alberta Premier Daniel Smith and facing competition from Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre.
Decentralization, a stronger military, and a smaller federal government so that we can have a bigger Alberta.
The media highlighted Carney's efforts to connect with Albertans, a demographic typically skeptical of Liberal policies, especially given the party's limited representation of only 2 Liberals in the entire province. But to Carney, the Stampede visit wasn't just about pancakes and rodeos. It was a calculated move in a politically charged environment. Several complex issues simmer beneath the surface. Carney used his visit to address growing separatist feelings in Alberta, a province with a history of friction with Ottawa due to economic and energy political differences. In a Global News interview, he outlined his approach to engaging with U.S. President Donald Trump on trade issues, which are critical to Alberta's resource-driven economy.
How would you characterize this negotiation with U.S. President Donald Trump?
Well, look, it's unique in some respects in that, first off, they are conducting multiple negotiations at the same time, which is is difficult to do, and to some extent they're telegraphing that it's actually they're going to make it easier on themselves to some respect by reducing the number of more detailed negotiations. They have multiple objectives. Some of it's strategic competition with China. Sometimes it's just whether or not they can have a trade balance. Some of it's about revenue for their budget, and of course it's jobs for workers. Also issues around the border and fentanyl. Now, we can solve a lot of those issues in ways that are good for the people of Alberta, good for the people of Canada.
His comments suggest an attempt to reassure Albertans that his government is prioritizing their economic interests, particularly in the face of U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum, and light-duty vehicles. Carney's declaration that Canada should be an energy superpower resonated with Alberta's oil and gas industry.
Whether it's building conventional energy pipelines to Tidewater, whether it's building SMR reactors, whether it's building artificial intelligence, life sciences, all these things, we can give ourselves far more.
His statement that it's highly likely an oil pipeline would make the project list signals a pro-development stance, possibly to win over a province skeptical of liberal environmental policies. He met briefly with Alberta Premier Daniel Smith, who mentioned upcoming agreements with Ontario Premier Doug Ford, expressing a desire for federal policies free from net zero carbon restrictions. Carney's response was not detailed, but Smith noted on social media that he expressed intent to rapidly advance nation-building projects like pipelines, aligning with her demands for energy sector support. Carney's visit also coincided with delicate trade negotiations with the U.S., particularly after he scrapped Canada's digital services tax to restart talks. The White House's claim that Carney caved suggests he faced pressure to make concessions, which could be seen as a weakness by critics in Alberta, where economic sovereignty is a hot-button issue. So, while Carney was greeted with some cheers, there were also some boos at the chuck wagon races.
Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada!
Oh my God, everyone's booing.
Carney hosted a Liberal Party fundraiser on July 5th, but little is reported about who attended, what was discussed, or how much was raised. Though it cost Canadian taxpayers about $200,000 for Carney to attend the Stampede. Do you think we should be paying for Carney to hype his globalist net zero policies to a province in which he received only 27% of the vote? Let me hear your comments below. And if you've got a moment, click the thumbs up button. I'm Glenn Zacher, and this is It's Your Money. I'll see you next time.